Hey everybody, welcome to episode 222 of Is This Thing Working? Room 222. You remember that show from back in the 70s?
Yes.
Yeah.
222.
Yep.
We have made it here. How is everybody tonight?
I hope everybody is great tonight.
On this Monday. It was a wild weekend, though, especially with the politics. There's a lot going on this weekend. President Trump was everywhere. But really, everyone, welcome to the show. We're glad to have you here and tuning in. But I do want to say this before we get started really big on all the content we have today because it was a busy weekend. But Laura Loomer on X put out a memo for everyone to pay really close attention to.
With 8 days away from the election, yeah. And this is what she's talking about. And we've had a lot of focus on. Hold on a second. For some reason, I'm like really loud. There we go. Okay, cool. I think that's better. I'll just back off the mic a little bit here.
Yeah.
I guess so. But here we go. So this is more about the focus of the attention being on the down ballots and knowing that our Senate GOP is going to have to replace Senator Mitch McConnell because he's going to step down. So now the race is getting hot and things are getting back and forth. This is what she wants you to pay attention to with this. She says, pay attention to what I'm telling you because nobody else in the GOP or the right wants to touch this right now because they're too afraid of being called divisive. The Senate GOP leader election is set for November 13th. That's going to be 8 days after the presidential election. Mitch McConnell announced today he's planning to step down in November. Okay, so there we go. We know who the two that are really pushing to be in there, John Cornyn and
Thune.
Yeah, John Cornyn and one other, I think.
His name is Thune.
Yeah, John Thune.
John Thune.
That's right.
And really, someone else they don't mention is Senator Rick Scott.
Is it?
He wants to be in there, but she doesn't mention him at all in this. It was kind of, I thought that was kind of crazy.
Right. Yeah, that is kind of crazy.
Yeah, but President Trump, she goes on to say, President Trump's second term and all of his immigration policies are at risk of being undermined by two McConnell puppets who have a record of attacking Trump's immigration policies and who are on track to become the next Senate GOP leader unless MAGA demands change now. And that's you.
Yep.
That's you out there.
Yep.
You demand
the plot.
This change.
Yeah, she says that the plot to undermine and sabotage his second term through a Republican-controlled Senate with an anti-Trump Senate leader is underway. That's what they're after.
It is. She said she can confirm 100% that Senator John Thune met with President Trump at Mar-a-Lago 2 months ago. And Senator John Cornyn, the Texas senator from Texas that, we
that
don't
votes
care
against
for.
gun. Yeah, that votes against gun rights.
Yeah, he was on the
Right.
plane with President Trump last week.
Right.
And both men are going to be begging for President Trump to support their bids to become the next Senate GOP leader. And they are kissing his ass and pretending to support him with hopes that he would endorse one of them to be the next GOP Senate leader.
Yeah. And it's interesting. She says this here at the end. She goes, mark my words. If we do not demand an open ballot vote for November 13th Senate GOP leader election so that all the senators have to go on record with who they vote for to become the next GOP leader, then we'll have to see President Trump's entire second term going to be undermined, which we know the Democrats were already going to be planning to do that. And they sure as hell don't need the GOP's help.
I'm totally thinking that they're working together.
Sure they are.
The Senate.
Sure they are.
Because the Senate has this thing is we got to be bipartisan all the time. And
what do you think?
And we can't be divisive at all.
Yeah.
And if, we're the majority, then we rule, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But please demand an open ballot Senate for the GOP leader election. Yeah. Open ballot.
Let's
Not
see who everybody's wanting. Yeah. Hey, and you always hear President Trump talk about the enemy within.
That's right.
Well, yes. Who do you think's out of all of them? I know it's a whole group of them. who do you think's the biggest enemy within? You know,
that
really.
he's talking about.
Yeah.
The main thing. I think it's
Yeah, it's hard to
really,
call.
It's
ain't it?
really hard to call. I mean, we always
Because
say
the media plays
the
such a big-
CIA.
Yeah.
You know, but is the CIA controlling the media though? There's somebody, something, somewhere controlling
How fast
How
the
the-
narrative and the words, the buzzwords get out, and all of that. Yeah,
and
man.
lobbyists.
Yep.
And lobbyists are really, high up in Congress. I mean, they are the top of the line because they are the donors. They are the ones that foot the bill for their campaigns.
Right.
So, when you have Mitch McConnell and Cornyn and Thune, really,
yeah.
those three are all for illegal immigration.
Yeah.
Open
borders.
I mean that.
Yeah.
So this tells you just how much the Republican Party has changed and how the Congress, I'm talking about the Senate and the House, are both trying to stop the change. They don't want nothing to change.
That's
they want
exactly
everything
right.
to stay exactly the same.
Yep.
They get to make all the rules all the time and be the firm. Remember,
Yep.
we've talked about that on our show previously
Yeah, sure have.
about how there's like 4 top dogs, and that's who makes all the legislation, makes all the rules,
Makes
and
all the
everything.
rules and all the calls. Yep. Those people got to go.
They got to go.
Yeah. And that's what I guess we've talked about down ballots. You know, you got to hold your nose and vote down right now, and we can vote down ballot, and we can work on the other as we go along here. We got to get some of these people out, and I'm glad to see Mitch go. Goodbye, Mitch, man.
Yeah,
Adios.
well, he's still going to be in
AMF.
the Senate. He's just not going to be in the leadership.
Exactly.
That's because he can't control even his brain anymore. Why they stay so long? Why can't they just resign
retire.
already?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do
that's
like
it,
normal
retire.
people. Retire. Yeah.
Yeah,
Get out of
retire
there.
to
They're power hungry.
and go home
They're
and
power
enjoy
hungry.
your
That's
life.
their whole life, man.
Well, they've worked so hard all these years to destroy America. They just want to keep on doing it.
Right.
That's, hey, we don't want them to come in here and find out what we've done for all these years. People they're all about transparency now.
Yep.
So people that go in there are like, this is what is going on,
Yep.
like MTG has done on numerous occasions,
Occasions,
and Lauren
yeah.
Boebert on numerous occasions, and Matt Gaetz on numerous occasions. Make sure you vote for these folks. These folks is who we need in there. Yeah, they tick us off all the time, but these are the ones we want in there. And we're going to take a moment to support our sponsor.
Do you want to start playing guitar, but you don't know where to start? Simply Guitar by Joy Tunes makes it easy. Designed for beginners, Simply Guitar is like having a personal instructor right at your fingertips. With step-by-step tutorials and interactive lessons, you'll be playing your favorite songs in no time, with no experience required. What I love about Simply Guitar is that it listens to you as you play, and it gives you real-time feedback to help you improve every step of the way. You can practice anytime, anywhere, and with hundreds of songs across all genres, there's always something new and exciting to learn. It's perfect for kids, adults, or anyone who's been wanting to pick up a guitar. Simply Guitar is just more than an app. It's your own private music coach. Download Simply Guitar today and start strumming those chords. It's never too late to become the guitar player you've always dreamed of.
Please click that link below, and thank you so much for supporting our sponsors. We sure do appreciate it.
Yep.
But guess what? We need like some sound, some really loud sound. Like here, punch that button over there. Punch the hand button where you clap or something.
Is it this one?
I don't know.
Nope, that's not it.
There you go. I like that one.
I like that one. I wish the birds would quit, though.
We can leave them in the background.
No,
That
we
would
don't
be
need
kind
them.
of cool.
Yeah.
But Steve Bannon is getting out of prison tomorrow.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go. Just in time for the elections.
Ah,
Just in time. But we have an article here from Not Us. It's not affiliated with us whatsoever. We don't know who really this came from. It's a blog, it looks like. But I wanted to use this article because it kind of, it's not conservative.
Yeah.
That's what I will tell you.
Right.
And it goes on to say, as Trump ramps up violent rhetoric about weaponizing the Justice Department against judges, prosecutors, and journalists.
Can I say that he's not ramping up violent rhetoric, but he is telling them what that was going to happen to them.
That's what this article is saying. That's not what we are saying. That's what they continue to say.
Yep.
Even though they are using.
They know. Yep. They know it's coming.
What they have done.
Yep.
And then they're, where President Trump, like we just talked about, the enemy within.
Yep.
And they say the U.S. military against his perceived adversaries he calls the enemy within. The 2024 presidential campaign will soon have one of its loudest and fiercest surrogates back.
Yep, can't wait. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, Bannon is due to be released from a suburban Connecticut prison after serving a 4-month sentence of Congress tomorrow, Tuesday, October 29th.
Yep.
We will all be crowing. We will be so glad to see him back.
Yep. And it goes on to say, they say, already those around Bannon are foreshadowing his plans upon his release. He's expected to renew his call for a domestic revolution and a merciless campaign of retribution on MAGA critics as soon as he sits back down in front of the camera at his Washington, D.C. home, where for years he has broadcast a daily video broadcast called The War Room. You bet. And I want to tell you something. When he talks about retribution, he ain't talking about just for President Trump. He ain't talking about just for Peter Navarro. He ain't talking about just for himself. He is talking about those that are being held political prisoner for the January 6th incident that went on and how the government has weaponized themselves against us.
And
not
the
just
FACE Act and using
guys.
the FACE Act and putting
Steve Bannon,
grandmas in
that's
prison
exactly right.
for praying in front of abortion places.
Steve Bannon considered it an honor to go to prison for the citizens of this country.
Yes. Never once did he. I can remember on his show how people would ask him about it. Well, what's going on with you? Oh, let's not talk about me. We're not here to talk about me. We're here to save the country. We need you. I need you, and so that, next man up. And so that's what we did. But this article goes on to say, Raheem Kassam, who we talk about quite a bit, he's a conservative British activist who serves as the editor-in-chief of the National Pulse. We use him all the time, and previously served as the London editor-in-chief of Breitbart News. But he said, expect to see a newly invigorated Stephen K. Bannon more intent than ever to take his fight to the administrative state. I would not be surprised to see him immediately hitting the campaign trail, as well as hosting his War Room show for 4 hours each day. Every second will count. Every word will matter, he said. He also said that he had been in touch with Steve almost every day.
Yep.
And he has, because he's been putting out, we've talked about it on the show the many times that Steve brought a statement forward and everything. But we watched War Room this morning, and Ben Harnwell was on there. He signed off from being a guest host today. So everyone's assuming Steve Bannon is going to be on the show tomorrow.
Yep. That's going to be awesome, man.
It is going to be awesome.
Yep, it is. And I'll tell you what I'm going to miss, too, is I'm going to miss Natalie Winters being on there doing her morning rants. Because if you wanted to hear something that Steve would be talking about and saying in almost the same terms, it will be Natalie Winters. She says 11 days until, and this was last week, she said 11 days until Stephen Bannon is free. But make no mistake, as I'm sure Stephen K. Bannon would definitely agree with me, the real countdown is not just when Stephen Bannon is let out of federal prison. The real countdown is until January 20th, when retribution, or as we call it here in the War Room, justice starts. And that's what we're looking for.
That's
me.
Yep, that is.
Me still on a personal level, it bothers me to no end to know that Steve Bannon has had to sit in prison for basically the same charge that was brought against Merrick Garland, and our Congress was too weak and feckless to go in there and take the sergeant of arms who could, by law, go in there and arrest him and throw him in jail where he's supposed to be, and it didn't happen. That's still just...
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
They're not. No, only conservatives commit crimes that in their eyes.
In their eyes,
Democrats don't do anything. But one thing I will say that this article goes on and it talks about how he was in prison and what he did and what group he got into and everything. But the signal that I found was that they're not done with Steve Bannon at all, because the Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg has an ongoing case against Bannon for allegedly defrauding donors to We Build the Wall, a fundraising campaign to construct a border barrier between the U.S. and Mexico. Federal criminal charges were eliminated when then President Trump pardoned Bannon mere hours before he left office in January 21. Bragg picked up a mirror version of the case that could put Bannon on trial in state court on December 9th. Trump, if elected, wouldn't even be able to pardon Bannon if he's found guilty. That said, a Trump victory and pardon could wipe Bannon's federal criminal record clean. Justice Department prosecutors sought to punish him for flagrantly ignoring a congressional subpoena from the House January 6th committee.
Yeah.
Just same thing as Merrick Garland.
So then in a next man up scenario, what should we do as posse, man? Make as much public noise and make Alvin Bragg as nervous about it as possible. He's a coward. He'll back out.
He needs to be sued.
Yeah.
He needs to be
He's
sued
a coward
for
and he'll
bringing,
back out. That's what I'm saying.
Lawsuits that are unconstitutional.
Yeah.
He needs to be sued. I mean,
let's, as a public, let's bring as much noise to him as we can, man. Let's bring as much loudness as we can. Scream to him as loud as we can. Put the public heat on him, man. He's a coward. He'll back down.
He is a coward. He is.
Yeah.
But so no, we're excited to see Steve Bannon tomorrow. So the streaming world is going to go crazy. You think all these streamers that's been going on, like Rogan and President Trump, imagine War Room tomorrow. That's going to be epic,
Yes,
as they would say.
Yep.
But another epic thing that went on, huge, was President Trump and Joe Rogan.
Yeah, on Friday night.
On Friday night,
Yep.
man.
It's pretty awesome.
Because we were one of the 32 million people that have viewed. Could you imagine that many people?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Viewing an episode like that.
Yep, that's crazy.
And we watched it, and I really, really thought that the back and forth between them was like they had been friends forever.
They've known each other for a while. They have. They've had UFC ties for quite a while.
Why do you think that Joe Rogan did not want him on there? Why do you think that?
I don't know. I think Joe
didn't
Joe's
want to get
disappointed.
involved.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of it. Joe just didn't want to get involved in it. And Joe has a lot of different things that they talk about on their show, and it's rarely politics. You know what I mean?
Just every now and then clips come out that he might have gone there for a minute.
The COVID thing was real big with Joe, and Joe's seen a lot of how the system has done, and he watched the coordinated attack, that they've done on President Trump. And I think he just didn't want to be a part of that.
Yeah, but
in any way, good or bad, you know what I mean?
Over time, especially over the last 3 years, have really changed.
Sure.
And there was a portion of the podcast that we got a clip for you we want to play that made me really realize how much Rogan understands what's going on with the Republican Party now. And if he can see it, then 32 million people that watched him can see it too.
Yeah.
So listen to this conversation between Trump and Joe Rogan.
The rebels are Republicans now. They're like, you want to be a rebel, you want to be punk rock, you want to buck the system. You're a conservative now. That's how crazy. And then the liberals are now pro silencing criticism. They're pro censorship online. They're talking about regulating free speech and that regulating the First Amendment. It's bananas to watch.
Joe, they come after their political opponent.
Well, I
got more guys. I always say, I kid, but I'm not kidding. I've been investigated more than Alphonse Capone. He was the meanest of them all. He'd kill you in 2 seconds if he didn't like you, right? I've been under investigation more than Alphonse Capone, only because it's political opponent stuff. And I've won. I won the big case in Florida. I'm winning the other stuff. You win, but you know what they did? They did something that's only done in third world countries. They came after their political opponent.
Yes.
I could have put crooked Hillary in jail.
Well, not only that, but they're weaponizing it by saying that that's what you're going to do once you get in office.
Isn't it
great? By ignoring what they're doing right now. It's crazy.
I heard it. Somebody was defending me today. They said, no, they say that's what you're doing to him. They're going, he's going to put us in jail. He's going to invest.
That's what you're doing.
That's what you're doing to him.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, will you do that? Will you do that to him, to them, if you win? You know, the presidency has tremendous power. I could have put crooked Hillary
I respected that you didn't, because what you said was it would be bad for the country.
Absolutely. Great conversation. And you can see why over 34 million people viewed it. Because if Joe Rogan is going to sit down and actually say, hey, the Republicans are the rebels now, I think I might want to be on that side.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't come out and say it, but he totally respects it. And that's important. And that's important for MAGA, for you to understand and respect our movement, because that's what it's about. It's about saving the Constitution. And we are the rebels now because everyone wants to toe the line. And, you know, that's just not the way it needs to be. But these social media platforms, they're going to do everything they can to not let you understand what's going on around you. You know, when you have this huge platform,
just for instance, just like with the Rogan Trump podcast from Friday night, Elon went to search for it on YouTube, and YouTube's already censoring part of it. All you're getting offered now is clips and other people talking about it, like us,
like reactions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's all you're getting now.
Yes,
from them. So yeah,
it's unbelievable. I mean, that and Google, you probably are, I haven't checked on Google, but I'm pretty sure it will be kind of way down in the far bottom. But if you want to listen to it, please go directly to Spotify. You can bring up the video right there.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
The Joe Rogan Experience, and you can get it right there. Easy enough. Doesn't cost a dime. But last night, another epic, huge rally for President Trump.
Yeah, it was.
Yes. And the New York Post called it this morning, and I thought it was perfect. MAGA Square Garden. I loved it. Make America Great Again, Square Garden.
Yep.
How could you, mess that up, right? But I have the article here from the New York Post from that actual front page, and it said Trump drew 20,000 to MSG, and tens of thousands rallied outside. They could have sold the garden twice. That's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
I bet they could have sold it 5 times, man.
Oh,
10
yeah.
times.
You know what I thought was cool as I was reading through this article? Some of the people that were outside ended up in all these restaurants that aren't used to having MAGA people with MAGA hats, and they were turning on all the TVs for everybody to watch. And
they had a great time, I bet.
They had a great time. They all sat around, chatted, and drank, and had a great time. The people, the restaurants and everything said this was the most fun we've had in a long time.
That's MAGA crowds,
I
man.
mean, that's really, and this is why I love the rally in the blue states, especially. You know, he's rallied in conservative states so many times, and we know what they're about. And we go there. We just do. Everyone shows up. But when you're in a blue state and you see how conservative that the states are, then you go, oh, something is going on, and that ain't right. You know what I mean? When you're in New York and you have people from New Jersey and Virginia and Connecticut and all the way around coming to this rally in the blue wall, supposedly,
of New York,
of all of that blue wall, makes you go,
Yeah. Well, it was Rockstar level.
Oh, it was Rockstar level.
It really was.
Amazing. Very, very much so. And President Trump, of course, he spoke, and Melania was there, and a lot of great speakers. We were Stephen Miller, Vivek Ramaswamy, just everybody along the lines. Of course, he had his kids there, Eric and Laura Trump, and Don Jr. spoke. But when Melania spoke, everyone listened. I'm telling you, you couldn't have heard a pin drop in the room. I mean, she is absolutely on board. A cameo. I love her. I got several pictures of her. I was like watching the TV, you know, because to see them two together like that, looking happy and like they're in it, they're in this together, and that was an important moment.
Yeah. Another important moment that he did during his speech last night was he said he's announcing a new policy today, that he will support a tax credit for family caregivers that take care of a parent or a loved one. It's about time those people were recognized. Check out what he had to say here.
I'm announcing a new policy today that I will support a tax credit for family caregivers who take care of a parent or a loved one. It's about time that they were recognized, right? They add so much to our country and are never spoken of, ever, but they're going to be spoken of now. Thank you all very much.
Then that was huge.
Yep.
Because
you heard the crowd, man.
Yes, and this is so important that those people are recognized. You know, when your loved one's sick, or you know, you have to take care of them, but you don't get paid. There is no one there to help you. Even insurance does not pay you.
Right.
You know, as a caregiver, you know, you have home health come in once a day, but what's that going to do at nighttime?
Exactly.
Or when they need medicines or, you know, so this is to me very, very important. We went through this a lot with our parents when they were going through their, you know, needing caregivers. So
and getting old in life.
We do know and understand this very much so. So yeah, hey man, President Trump, he's all about America first, Americans first.
Another highlight from last night was Dana White, and this was in my opinion, was the best speech of the entire night. You know what I mean? He brought the most truth, as brutal and as honest and straightforward and pointed as he can. I love Dana White, man. Check this out.
She can use the old Obama playbook, but she's not Obama. And she is no agent of change. She is the sitting vice president of the United States right now. What she hopes is voters will focus on the future, because she doesn't want us looking at the last 4 years to see what we really need to change. We need change from sky-high inflation. According to Yahoo Finance, the cost of groceries is up over 25% during the Biden-Harris administration. Food is unaffordable for most Americans. That has to change. We need change from wide-open borders. BBC News reports illegal immigration reached record levels since they took office, with an estimated 10 million border crossings. That's a 300% increase compared to the Trump administration, and that's not including the unknown millions who cross undetected. That is the record of the other candidate, the border czar of the Biden administration.
Absolutely.
There you go. What did he bring to you? What did he bring to you? He brought facts and truth.
That's it.
And that's why I thought what he said was the best, man.
That's why, yeah. And then we have another one. We have another clip for you. Tucker Carlson, he gave a powerful speech also. Listen to what he had to say.
He's liberated us in the deepest and truest sense. And the liberation he has brought to us is the liberation from the obligation to tell lies. Donald Trump has made it possible for the rest of us to tell the truth about the world around us.
Yes.
And that's the single most liberating thing you can do for people.
Yes.
If you want to enslave people, if you want to degrade them, force them to tell lies. And they have. They forced us to lie about everything at gunpoint, effectively. They put people in prison for refusing to lie. And not just the obvious lies that men can become women, or Vladimir Putin blew up the Nord Stream pipeline. No, honestly, he did. January 6th was an insurrection. They were unarmed, but it was very insurrection-y. Not even the obvious ones, but the big lie. You know what the big lie is? The big lie is that they're impressive. That's what the big lie is.
Amen.
That the people in charge have somehow earned the right to rule over you, and they haven't. And you know that. These are the single most useless people in the United States. They have no skills whatsoever. They've got 3/4 of the money, and they didn't earn it. They set up a system precisely for the purpose of awarding themselves wealth and power when it's undeserved. You look at Liz Cheney and you ask yourself honestly, what skill could she possibly have that allowed her to send hundreds of thousands of people to their deaths? Did she earn that? I don't think she did. No fair system would make Liz Cheney powerful. No fair system would make Larry Fink rich. No fair system would elevate someone like Kamala Harris to a presidential nomination. She's never been accused of doing anything useful. She has precisely no achievements. She's a nominee without getting a single vote. She is a metaphor for the system they created to make themselves rich and powerful, and then they have the gall to lecture you, the people who can actually change a flat tire and repair a power grid, who have useful jobs, who pay your taxes and work 40 hours a week, lecture you that you are somehow immoral. And Donald Trump has empowered the rest of us through mostly just sticking around in the face of their hate and abuse and persecution. He has given the rest of us the right to call BS on the charade. No, you are not better than us.
Amen, Tucker.
That's right. You are not better than us.
Yes, ma'am. That's exactly correct. You
know,
are not,
but they think they are. They absolutely think they are better than us.
Yep,
you know, and they are panicking. They're panicking so bad. And you know, we're excited because, you know, Raheem come out today and even said, you know, I'm not one for hyper optimism, but I've just seen some numbers that show Kamala Harris could lose Maine, New Hampshire, New Jersey, and Virginia and others.
Yeah.
If these numbers hold, it will be an absolute monster blowout. Keep up the momentum. They hate it.
And this is something that I'm glad that everybody has started to open their eyes and see. It's something we've said for a long time. Tucker said it here. Raheem just told you right there. The people hold the power.
Is this thing working?
Rise up. Well, hey, everybody, that's it for today. Thanks for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed the show. Hope you've learned some things about what's going on around us in the nation and in your communities. You know, we couldn't do this without your continued support either. We appreciate all of you showing up, taking the time to listen to us today. So please, like I say, make sure to hit the like button, share our show with all your friends. We'll see you next time on Is This Thing Working? And as always, I'm James, and that's my lovely co-host over there,
Denise.
and we'll see you next time.
We're out.